Hi everyone, my name is Queen Jonah Faye Turbalon. I just finished my bachelor's in political science from the illustrious Clark Atlanta University. And those of you who already know, in the fall, I'll be attending Candler School of Theology at Emory University. And so I'm so excited for the next chapter. And I am so excited not only for Wesley's channel, but I'm excited for even my own content. So for me, my art form is preaching in a sense, I guess. So I have this online platform called SoulSnacks. And so originally it started about a year and a half ago. So it'll be 2 years in December. Wow. And what I used to do, I just wanted it to be a mini sermonette just so I could practice my art form, because I've preached before in person, you know, with actual people. And I did like 3 times in high school and then 2 or 3 times in college. And every single time I was able to do it, I loved it. Preaching was just so beautiful. Like, I really felt like a vessel for God. And it was just an experience that I can't even explain. And so I was scrolling on Instagram one day, almost 2 years ago, and I said, I'm just feeling unengaged. Like, I was just, you know, oh, pictures look nice, but I didn't feel like I was engaging intellectually. I didn't feel like I was connecting with it besides my eyes. It was just visuals for me. And there was a time where I didn't want to just be, I wasn't into just liking pictures because they were visually pleasing, aesthetically pleasing to me anymore. So I wanted to have like content. I wanted to go on Instagram, and if I'm going to spend an hour on it, I want to at least learn one thing or engage with something. And this was before I was able to find pages that had content that I could learn from. This is before I even knew that. And so I said, you know, I want to practice my preaching. I don't want to just say, oh, I'm a preacher, I can preach, and then I don't practice in between getting preaching opportunities. So I said, let me just combine the two. So that's how SoulSnacks evolved. And so my tagline is SoulSnacks, food for the soul so your heart doesn't grow old. I had just came up with that in the moment, but that was my tagline for it. And I took about a year. I've taken a year break because the last SoulSnacks that I posted, besides like literally the most recent one, was probably May 2019. And during that time, I was going through a very, very rough time emotionally, spiritually, everything. But everything really started to look better for me after the end of September, because like my life had just changed for the better. And ever since then, I really have been flourishing and blossoming. And so now I think I'm finally in a place for me to reignite SoulSnacks. So an announcement is that on July 18th, 2020, the relaunch of SoulSnacks will be official. It will be more at the consistent pace that I want it to be. But what happened is, SoulSnacks was meant to be an unedited form of a sermonette. I wanted people to see my stumbles, you know, all of that. And I used to do it in one take. You know, in the beginning, if the beginning of my video is messed up, I usually, you know, redo the beginning until I find me a beginning that I liked, and then I'll just do the rest of the video. But it was an unedited version of whatever it is that I was saying for that day, because I wanted people to see that Instagram, myself, is more than the manicured, like, oh, this is a great picture, I'm gonna post it. But it's like, sometimes I look like this. Sometimes, you know, I stutter. Sometimes I say the wrong word. And I wanted people to see that, because I wanted it to be real and authentic. Because if you know me in person, you know that there's nothing manicured about me. And not only that, I wanted people to understand that it's okay to mess up, and then to show people that too, because I think that I wanted it to be like a learning curve. Like, I wanted people to see the preaching and seeing the sermonettes evolve over time, to where maybe one day I don't stutter, maybe one day I don't stumble over my words. Now that's something I'm still working on, because my public speaking, I tend to, I don't know, something with my public speaking, I tend to do those things. But I wanted that to be a part of SoulSnacks. I didn't want to edit those things out. And so the relaunch of SoulSnacks will be on July 18th in a new form, because I'll be launching a blog on that day. And so my blog will be intimately tied to SoulSnacks, and it'll be basically the written form of the sermonette that would accompany the video form. And so I wanted it to be a multi-platform endeavor that I'm so excited to start and to make more consistent. And I think spiritually, I'm in such a better place now. I'm not gonna, of course, gloss over the fact that it took me a year to get to this level, but at the same time, like, I think that everything was right and everything was in God's timing. And so I'm excited for me to continue to allow SoulSnacks to grow. And even though I took a year break, I want that to be part of the experience too. Like, hey girl, where you been at? The accountability. Because if something, I want it to be something that people are able to look at and smile, or look at and really start to reflect on themselves. And so I have to do the same thing. And so, I expect people to hold me accountable, like, girl, where you been at? Because I've had conversations in this past year, like, where's my Sunday post? And I've appreciated those moments, and now I'm in such a different place, just all around, like, just a much better place all around. I think that I'm going to be able to deliver consistency, and that's something that I've struggled doing my entire life. My entire life. So SoulSnacks is definitely just food for the soul. Just like the tagline says, it's really food for the soul. It's so much more than just, oh, I want to do this. It was very much from a genuine place, and that's how I want it to stay. That's how I want it to be, here, now, forever, in the future, all the time. So thank you again. My name is Queen Jonah-Faye Turvalon, and I am the creator of SoulSnacks. Thank you so much for listening.
Hello, my name is Maxine Ford, and I am an artist. I am an artist who acts. I am an artist who sings. I am an artist who writes. I am an artist who educates youth. But most importantly, I like to think that I am an artist who tells stories, no matter what the medium it comes from. I am originally from Greenville, North Carolina, and then I went to the illustrious Spelman College. And after I got my degree in 2019, I made my way up to Minnesota. Yes, Minnesota. And I've been here for a year now as an actor educator at Klein Theater. I began my love affair with the theater when I was in the first grade. My school put on a production in elementary school, and I was the starfish. And I had this fabulous line that said, "I'll be in my trailer." Iconic, yes, I know. But that's where it all began. After that play, my mother put me in community theater, and I have been doing it ever since. When I first started theater, what inspired me to keep going was the fact that no one was shutting me down. I was a very loud and rambunctious child, and people were often telling me to shh, which I didn't like. So when I got on the stage, I really enjoyed that people were telling me to be louder, be bigger, be bolder. And I think that's one of the most beautiful things about theater, because you get to decide how big, how bold, and how brave you want to be on that stage. And when I learned that was the case, but on an even larger scale, when I think about the world I want to live in, theater is a space that allows people to be bold and brave and loud, even if they're not on the stage. Like I said, I'm a playwright. So when I write the stories that I want to share with the world, I get to decide how big and how brave and how bold that story will be. Will it change the narrative, or will it stick with the same narrative? When I am educating to the youth that I teach theater to, I get to ask them what kind of world they want to live in, and they get to be as bold and brave and big with their imaginations as they want to be, because theater is the space to be that. Theater is a space for radical imagination. So whether I'm acting or singing or whatever I'm doing in the theater, I just want to make sure I'm a part of it. because I want to be a part of that radical imagination that happens on that stage. And I'm grateful to do the work that I do and create the impact that I create every day.
Peace, y'all. My name is Martez Gaines. Most people call me Taz. I am an organizer born and raised in Baltimore, Maryland. I received my Bachelor of Arts in Psychology from Morehouse College in 2018. I then went on to receive a Master of Education in Community Development and Action from Vanderbilt University just a month ago, May 2020. I was asked to share a little bit about my work and about my art specifically. I really think that I have been an artist for as long as I've been alive. Whether I was screaming as a baby or singing as a toddler or painting murals with my fingers, I have been an artist for as long as I can remember. I currently am the host of a podcast called A Dose of Healing, which can be found pretty much on any platform. I really decided to do this because for my program, my master's program, I really wanted to find a way to integrate the things that I do in my everyday life into what I was doing inside of the academy. I'm really big on what it means and trying to figure out what it means to heal generational trauma, particularly for Black folks, right? Black folks in the diaspora. And so I decided to have conversations with folks that I consider my friends, folks that are organizers, and folks that do work around healing. I think healing is something that most people don't really have a definition for. It's something that most folks don't know really what they have to do to obtain. And so I really wanted to have these conversations with other organizers and folks in the community just so that they could share their thoughts around healing and resilience so that folks who listen to my podcast can have, just a little bit of like a roadmap or some tips from other folks who are also thinking about healing. I think those things are pretty important to me. And I think as a cultural organizer, I use the gifts of song and poetry to evoke emotions, to bring out the things that are hidden inside of people, right? Most folks can relate to hearing a piece that was so powerful that it brought up something that they didn't know was inside of them or that they had ignored for so long. And so I think I use my art in a way to bring those emotions out so that folks start to really have an outlet, so that folks can really start to think about what it means to find healing, right? To think about what it means to get on a healing journey. And I think that is what's of utmost importance to me. And I think as time moves on, I want to continue to do my podcast. I want to continue to sing and to perform poetry and invite others to do the same thing. I want to be able for folks to really look at art as a form of organizing and to look at organizing as a form of healing. And I think that is sort of, and it's not really an end goal, but I think that's my ongoing goal with the art that I do and as being an organizer. And so that's a little bit about me and my art. Folks can find me on my personal website, which is mtgaines.info, mtgaines.info, or you can find me on Instagram or Twitter at mtgaines_. I'm pretty accessible. I'm always down to talk about what my art means to me. And I'm also down to talk about what healing means for other folks and to share the experiences that I've gained over these last, I'm not going to tell you how long, but it's been a good while since I've been organizing. So I look forward to connecting with folks, and I am so thankful to have been invited to talk a little bit about my art and what I do. Peace.
Hey, my name is Cam Burns. I'm a recent graduate of University of Tampa in Florida. I'm not sure what the next chapter of my life looks like, but I started a brand. It started as a way to educate people on health, fitness, and mindfulness, but it grew into a platform to talk about life, trauma, healing. I started my podcast about 2 weeks ago, and I love it. I'm studying now to be a nutrition coach, and but the podcast was created with intention to bring people together to talk about uncommon topics, tips and tricks to living a healthy, more sustainable lifestyle. My inspiration is all around me. My friends, my family, my school in particular is inspiring because of all the talent and activism within the community. I've done my own research and into biohacking and plant medicine, and I hope to expand that knowledge and to benefit other people. Thank you. Also, you can find me on Instagram, mindful.aquarius, and my podcast is available on iTunes, Spotify, Overcast, Google Podcasts, Anchor, but the name of it is Nirvana Cosmosis Podcast. Thank you.
Go.
Hello. It's your boy, John Clark the rapper, and so I'm just gonna talk about myself for like a minute real quick. So I make music, I make ambient, heartfelt, rose-like, pop-inspired, trap-inspired, rap-inspired, life-inspired, God-inspired music, etc. Some of my influences, so Future, Drake, a lot of names you already heard of, my life experiences, things of that nature. I'm currently 22 years old, studying computer engineering at Howard University, and I'm just putting in work. My latest project, Red Rose, just dropped, you know what I'm saying? And also I'm a Minnesota native, so I'd like to give a shout out to my homeboy Wesley for giving me this opportunity, you know, just come on here for a second and talk to y'all about myself, and I pray y'all have a great day. Peace.
He on X Games mode.
It's payday.